Hello, and are we good? Are we good? I have new internet, and I still don't know if we're good, but we're rocking and rolling. Someday it's all going to make sense. It's all going to work. All of my technology is going to be together. Today, maybe not that day, but we're already off to a better start because I can see Alexis super clearly. I can see our chat. I'm here with the wonderful people tuning in to our Smackdown post show, the last Smackdown of the year, people. Wild stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. It is December 27th. We are headed into the new year. We've got tonight's show. We've got World's End, where Sean will be back with your post show by himself. We're going to tell you about some of those bet online betting odds in a little bit as well for that show. If you want to throw some cash the way of the of bet online, but you also have me and Alex Pulowski behind the paywall doing your alternative post show as well. And we're closing out the year strong here at Fightful, and you're going to want to subscribe to Fightful Select, because there are scoop skis to be had over there, my friends, including Sean breaking the news that Kenny Omega should be set for tomorrow. If they want to bring him back then, that he would be medically cleared, which makes me think, man, and Okada retains, and then Kenny came out. I would not be mad, but plenty more AEW to come in the next 24 hours. But tonight, my friends, we've got plenty to talk about on the SmackDown side. So get in those super chats. Get in those humper chats at humperchats.com. Please leave a thumbs up on this video as well, because it was a record-breaking day, Alex. It was the longest reigning U.S. women's champion of all time. Broke the previous record by just one day in Chelsea Green. We got Kevin Owens, who's still pissed, and he's never been wrong about anything. We've got Carmelo Hayes out here. We've got a pretty solid SmackDown to kind of close things out here. What did you think overall tonight? I love shows that have these longer ring times. It makes me really, really happy.
Yeah, it was. It did not feel like too much of a throwaway show, just because it's the end of the year, and we're kind of moving on to different things starting next week. I also want to say happy holidays to everyone who's watching right now. If you whatever you celebrate, we're happy for it. And also thank you for being with us here on the last Friday of the year.
Crazy.
Number one. And number two, like, I'm going into year 3 with you, which is kind of, it's just pretty incredible. I love this. I love doing this. So thank you all. But a little bit about tonight's SmackDown. I thought it was very well paced.
Yes.
A lot of good interweaved storylines on the back end without needing the bloodline in it. So it was a very, very, very different pace because of specifically the one thing that we've been threading all year long, which is just bloodline. And today we got some really cool, between the tag teams and just letting the women rock. We had a good time. Yeah.
We did have a good time. We've got a good time here from Evil Diva, who's not so evil, by supporting us here, by becoming a new member. Thank you so much. And Ricardo saying you'll never guess where I'm at.
Wait, let me try. He is finally at home with his feet up, hanging out with us. Hopefully just in a robe.
I don't have the answer for you, but something tells me maybe you missed on that one.
I'm always good at this. How dare you? Okay.
If this was Family Feud, I'd be like, show me at home. And it would be like, and we'd be like, no, it's going to be at work, unfortunately. But
Keith just attacked me live on television here, so it's okay.
I'm just calling him like I see him, man. I'm just calling him like I see him. But yes, we do, of course, wish a happy holidays to you all. I just want to say, like, thank you so much for the support. And Sean had kind of put out a post earlier on social media talking about the year he's had kind of from Christmas to Christmas in recognition of the way things were going with his grandmother, and then to this point to have lost her. His father-in-law and his grandfather just days ago, and how much the support has meant, because we get a lot of really wonderful feedback about how this can be a place for people to put stuff down and come out and just hang out and watch wrestling, and it's a safe space, and people of every background are welcome here. And I think sometimes it gets lost how much you guys do that for us too. I've certainly needed a place to come and set some stuff down myself over the past 2 years, really. And we appreciate it so much from you guys as well. Even just stuff like, man, a chaotic holiday season. I did the ROH Final Battle post show alone. I could not believe over 4,500 of you tuned into that. I was literally alone in my parents' basement. I'm a wrestling fan meme at that point. I'm in my parents' basement doing wrestling coverage, and you guys showed out
Your
with
parents' basement.
I know it was such like a stereotypical wrestling fan, but you guys have been so wonderful to us. It's so appreciated. Yes. And we intend to work equally as hard in 2025, if not harder. The grind does not stop, as the kids say. So I just know that your $54 a year on Fightful Select or your $5 a month, your super chats, the way you guys show us free support, just your kindness overall is something that's been so appreciated throughout 2024. And of course, it will be into 2025. But some more love from you. I'll meet Norma saying on the 14th day, the Lord said, "Let there be meat." You people have 1 week until it's Nation Meat Day, your birthday. Alex, baby oil them clams, cake, get fancy bangs products. I'll be covered in gravy. How dare you imply that I don't always have fancy bangs? That's just
Kate
like
has the fanciest
insult.
of the bangiest. Okay, that should just be the fanciest of the bangiest. Okay.
Ricardo, who I'm going to say is probably at work, says almost 4 years subbed to Select, worth the $5. Well, thank you so much for the continued loyalty. It's very, very much appreciated. Plenty more to come. Plenty more to come.
Can I add something real quick? I just also want to add on to what you just said. Ever since joining the team here at Fightful, which is a dream, right? I've grown. I've learned. My relationship with Kate has been so amazing. It's someone that, we just met online, and here we are 3 years later going on strong. And not only that, but I've grown with the community here. I've cried on stream here when, wrestlers, certain ones passed away and what they meant, and so many things that have happened on Fridays, or whether I'm talking AEW somewhere else or on another show. Like, this is the place to be. I believe that Fightful has really taken over the industry. I respect everyone else who's in this industry kind of doing it as well. But I do got to say, being 3 years here has really been one of the greatest things that have happened personally, outside of everything else that I do. And just chilling here with the bangiest of the Kate.
Oh, thank you.
Shout out to you, and thank you for being one of the best co-hosts, and everyone else who joins in when your internet dies and everyone else has to jump in for you.
Yeah, or just Phil has been so great in my absences of late too. SP3 stepping up a lot, so very, very much appreciated. And echoed. It really starts at the top. Yeah. Like, Sean has worked very hard to cultivate a friendly community. Our wonderful moderators, Luis and Drew, of course, too, and anybody else stepping in, have been so great in making this a fun space where people can hang out and talk wrestling, which we are going to do, as over 2,000 of you are now watching. So get in those super chats, get in those humper chats. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's kind of start with this Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes rematch that is set for Royal Rumble. I thought this might be happening at the next Saturday night's main event, but it sounds like we're going to get this at Royal Rumble. And I just want to say, Kevin Owens has never been wrong about anything in his whole life, and I appreciate everything that he said today. He's got the Winged Eagle belt. I think that makes him a champion, because if you're holding the title, that makes you the title holder, and the title holder is the champion. So, of course, him attacking Cody, bringing the belt with him that was supposed to be for one night only, I say give him an actual Winged Eagle at this point, okay? That's how right Kevin Owens is, okay? The referee screwed him out of that match. That's the kind of basis for the rematch. I love Nick Aldis as an authority figure. He was all over tonight's show. I think his greatest downfall is that he expects wrestlers to behave like grown-ups. And that's just, as fans, that's going to get you in trouble. As an authority figure, it's going to even get you in more trouble. But this was some really strong stuff. And what I really liked about it was the different ways it was presented to us throughout the night. We opened the show with the video package We got a car promo for him saying, why would I just come give you this belt? Like, I'm not going to do that. After Nick Aldis had kind of said, there's going to be real bad consequences for you if you don't bring your ass back down here. Kevin Owens just kind of said, I've got the belt. I'm a deserving champion. Why would I just give this back to you for no reason? And then closing the show, we of course got kind of the in-ring segment where Kevin Owens said, I will come there, but I don't want any other corporate goofballs. I don't want anybody else involved. It's just me and you, Nick Aldis. And we kind of have this back and forth of, I'm not just going to give up the belt. And Aldis says, well, then you're not going to be working for this company anymore. But Cody comes out, and I love what we kind of get from Cody and Kevin Owens, because Cody being a fighting champion is what we want, and him having this long-term story to sink his teeth into is what we've been craving for his whole title reign. So I really like it. But he was like, I don't hold this title for me. I hold it for my family. I hold it for that announcer over there. I hold it for... And Kevin Owens is just like, oh, wah, wah, wah. And I love that, because I'm burnt out on it too. But I also really like that Cody just kind of fires back and says, I don't want it to be a cheap victory. Like, you feel like you got screwed. I want to beat the brakes off of you again. I want there to be a referee who can't bear to see what I'm going to do to you. I want that fire from Cody Rhodes, and we're finally kind of getting it. I like the way that this feud has escalated. I was more surprised that it sounds like they're doing it at Royal Rumble than the next Saturday night's main event. I kind of thought that was a shoo-in for a rematch, but I really, really like this program. Kevin Owens is just worth his weight in gold, man. Like, just so unbelievable. And he just makes you care. He makes you care about anything and everything all the time. And he's done such a good job in a title reign that has kind of felt like, not because of the performers, but was really stalled out. The stuff with Gunther was pretty all right. And now it's just like, we are in our wheelhouse with like Kevin Owens as in his heel bag, and with Cody Rhodes having something to showcase the maximum potential of his talents, I'll say. So I loved this through line. I like that we got video package, car promo, and in-ring segment. Just cool to see it presented to us in 3 different kind of media in that way. How did you feel about this?
You know, this is not a bad thing what I'm about to say, but it kind of felt formulaic a little bit with the way Cody speaks, right? The way he kind of just delivers his lines and his extra long, like, I did it for little Jimmy at the front, and I did it for Kate and her bangs at home. You know, like, yes.
Don't you feel like that was kind of set up to give to Kevin Owens to dunk on, though?
100%. So when he finally just dunked on him, like you just mentioned, and kind of like pounced on him, it was a lot of us, because, you know, as much as we love Cody, we've kind of been hearing this baby face side of Cody for such a long time that it's kind of like, it's cool to have a heel who kind of just like smacks him in the face when he mid-sentence, and he's like, hey, we're kind of tired of this. Can we just like fight? Or if you really want to come get this, come get it. Kevin Owens will always give you that realistic feel, because he's not thinking like a wrestler, like like an entertainer wrestler, right? He's thinking more of a pro wrestler, scrappy, just shut the hell up and let's talk about this. You know, no, wrong way.
Fight him up.
You know,
fight him up.
You know, kind of like really, really, really give the fans, the ones that kind of just want to stick with Kevin Owens, exactly what they feel, like a voice. And I think that's a great thing. How long do you think this is going to last, Kate? Like, do you think that we're going to continue seeing, like, we've seen this side of KO before? He's done it a lot, where he just kind of like turns his back on his friends and wants to beat the crap out of them. I'm all for it. I'm all about the craziness, right? How long do you think this will last then? Do we think like Royal Rumble might be it? Like you just mentioned, when they mentioned Royal Rumble, it kind of hit me. I'm like, oh, whoa, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's okay. You got a pretty long time now to kind of give, you know, each other feuds and you know, and like see where this is going to develop. But what do you think? Like, you think this is something that's going to maybe just end in them teaming up at the very end of it all? Or maybe
I don't think we go there. I think maybe Orton re-enters the fold if he's cleared. But I think what you might see is, I think Kevin Owens probably stays on SmackDown and Cody goes to Raw, so it kind of naturally ends that way. Like, ouch, I think the transfer portal makes Royal Rumble the blow off, which it should be, because we're going to talk about this later. Not everything needs to be a trilogy, but this one should end there in that way. But some more love coming in from you guys. Bad Robot saying, happy holidays, favorite post show. I've been sick the last week. I'm so sorry to hear that.
No, we're sorry. Yeah.
But finally feeling better for the best time of the week. Kate, use your witchcraft to heal me. KO is perfect. Give him both belts forever. So I had said to my sister half jokingly, I think I'm just going to get into witch spells because it's easier than like having faith in life that everything's going to be okay. Because it just seems like on the spiritual realm, I think what happened was I look up enough hippie woo-woo stuff. And also I watched enough reels about the musical Wicked that it finally brought me to like witch TikTok and witch Instagram reels.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, it all seems like the same spiritual woo-woo stuff, but it just involves like a lot of cinnamon for some reason. And I was like, that seems like more fun than like actually having faith. So she bought me like a spell book and like a moon calendar and stuff for Christmas. So now I'm a witch and I'm going to be casting spells on all of you. I just want you guys to know that.
I just got to say, I'm Puerto Rican. I grew up with Santeria. So, this doesn't really scare me that much. It's kind of cool. Maybe we could join and do some really cool stuff together with our dolls.
There you go. See, I'm not mad about that. Yeah. There were a lot of dolls, a lot of cinnamon, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen in the kitchen. So it's going to go one way or the other.
And you live in Jersey. There's a lot of Hispanics. You live around a lot of Latinos. You hang out. You with me. I'm Latino. Like, you are a huge voice for the Latino culture as well. So.
Oh, thank you. In my fluent Spanish and how beautiful I sound.
Yeah.
I just hope I get to sing like Cynthia or Ariana by the end.
Honorary Latina instead of honorary Oos. We're just gonna get you honorary Latina shirt right here on Fightful.
The whitest girl in the world. But Fan Twin Blade saying Bang's clavicle connection, aka the real BCC, back at it again. Yeah, it's so odd because I had ROH this past week, so I missed this show. I went to Mariah Carey, so I missed Sour Graps. And I'm off 2 weeks from Sour Graps because of Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So I've been all out of rhythm. I've missed it. I've missed Cardoza. I've missed Pulowski. I missed my Alexes. But
I can't believe you turn your back on the Alexes. There's times Alex and myself will be sitting there together, and it'll be like one of those meetings where we kind of talk about things and.
An AA meeting is what it is.
It's always about Kate, by the way.
you SOB. Ricardo saying KO is worth his weight in winged eagles. The real ones, too. Not the replicas, but the 10 pounds of gold belt. That's how good. That's how good KO is. But Ricardo saying Latino spell for Kate. Sana sana colita de rana.
Sana sana colito de rana. Yes.
No llores, no pasa nada.
There you go. My God, listen to this. Listen to Kate and her fluid Spanish.
Did you feel like you're back in Puerto Rico right now with how beautiful
at the moment, I honestly thought I was in Fightful Latino. Bienvenidos, mi gente. Estamos aquí en Fightful Latino para el show de Smackdown.
Nailed it. Absolutely crushed it. Me, Norma saying turkey bacon is witchcraft. Is that you're doing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bacon. I'm vegan. I steer clear of bacon, and I don't pretend that vegetables can be things other than they are.
You can. You eat cauliflower steak. Put some A1.
Yeah, but like to me, that's not steak. That's cauliflower. You know what I mean? Like sure. I think the substitutes are great, but I'm like, let's not pretend that cauliflower can be pizza. You know what I mean? Like,
before we continue. I gotta ask you, if they were, you know how we can have seasonings of all kinds that we season stuff with. If they came up with meat seasoning where it tastes like meat, would you put it on your vegetables? Or you just don't want meat taste at all?
Yeah, I would do that because what I've learned in my just over a year of being vegan is I miss cheese way more than I miss meat. I miss meat more in the beginning, and there are times when I'm like, a hamburger would be amazing, but on the day-to-day, I'm like, I miss mac and cheese and like proper cheese way more. Yeah. More. Luis asks, were there any spooky Scottish witches on Witch TikTok by chance? Man, I wish they were
keep on moving my girls around, man. It's so not my girls. I don't mean it like that, but you guys know I'm a huge
girls. Yeah, no, I got you.
fan of,
They're the best.
Of the witches. Now they're on the NXT. I was just like, I can't keep up.
I would actually, I would love this, by the way. If you guys reviewed CMLL, that would be so fun.
Spanish. I think the ladies love the Spanish. I'm here for it.
Luis is a fountain of CMLL knowledge too, so some good stuff there. But I'm liking this this KO Cody storyline. KO is one of the few that I'm like, this could sustain itself for a long time. But over 3,100 of you watching across platforms, please get in those super chats and leave a thumbs up if you are watching on YouTube. And if you're not watching on YouTube, go over to YouTube and leave us a thumbs up, would you? We'll also remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not already. Sean had a lot of great interviews that came out of WrestleCade. Some good stuff. Midor was saying, Kate, you're hurting my feelings. Meet forever. The only reason I don't miss it is because I can't let myself go there. You know what I mean? It'll hurt too bad. I can't even acknowledge it. But Van Twin Blade saying, but Alexis, can you practice Santeria? Do you have a crystal ball? If you had $1 million,
well, I spend it on Fightful Select.
Why, you could give away so many subscriptions with that, Alexis, because it's only $54 a year.
Only 50. Save money when you put in yearly. Use keyword Alex. No, that's not true. Don't use it.
Oh, man. Guys, thank you for the early support. We're talking about this episode of Smackdown. Very clean episode as I'm looking at like the segment breakdowns. Very easy watch tonight. A lot of extended in-ring time. Let's get into our historic celebration of Miss Chelsea Green tonight. What a gem Chelsea Green is. Piper Niven comes out. She looks amazing, by the way. This like beautiful green velvet holiday outfit with her hair done. She looked like old Hollywood. She just looked so gorgeous. Everybody in this segment did, because Piper introduces Chelsea, who comes out as Lady Liberty, which is even funnier because she's Canadian, if you don't know. So fantastic stuff. She quotes Fergie. She says GLAMORUS. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. Get there with me. But she says that the blue brand is now the greenhouse. She wants to thank the one woman who's been with her this whole time. Me, she says, kind of shading Piper, planting, I think, some early seeds for what may be to come. And she kind of taunts me Chin a little bit and says that she didn't even think she was going to make it that far in the tournament, to which I said, okay, but like, we don't need to run this back again yet. Like, we could get some other women in the mid-card involved in this, but that is not the direction that they chose to go to. I have loved what Chelsea's been doing on social media and what she incorporated today of saying, like, I'm the longest rating U.S. women's champion. I had the most defenses, whatever. Like, she's just been playing it up.
Good.
She's so brilliant, man. She's brilliant, but she taunts Michin, who comes out with the kendo stick, and she looks like every girl I wanted to be in high school. She looks so cool with her plaid skirt and her badass kendo stick. I was like, oh my God, when I wanted to be punk rock, this is who I wanted to be. She looked so awesome.
The tube socks. Yeah. Oh my God, she had it all. Love the look.
She's the girl from the song Teenage Dirtbag. She's got the like.
I love that song so much.
Iron Maiden, maybe she's that girl. I'm so old. I know, me too. Everyone's gonna be like, "What are you talking about?"
I know. Can you imagine? I'm gonna put this clip on TikTok and be like, "What is this old people talking about?"
They're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I heard this on the oldie station," and then I'm just gonna
real stop it. Don't say that
walk
again.
Into the ocean and just keep going.
To the heart.
Well, that, because I live in Jersey, will never fade. But I like this segment. I like that we are kind of planting the shade with Piper. As silly as she is, there was a little bit more of a serious snap with this as well, which I think was kind of needed because she's so silly. She calls Michin her trash-loving opponent, talking about their dumpster match. So I like that we got Chelsea kind of standing on her stuff here as a champion while also having these comedic, I was going to say undertones, but really overtones. Yeah. It's a part of it, but there was some sincerity here where she really kind of stood on her championship and her credibility. And I liked that a lot because sometimes she's so funny, but I think the masterclass that she gives us every week is that we are laughing with her, not at her. And that's not always easy to accomplish in wrestling. Her doing things like reminding us how good she actually is helps us do that with her. And I like this. I just feel like I was hoping this would freshen up the mid-card, and not everything needs to be a trilogy. So, like, we don't have to go back to that. That said, sure. Michin had a great performance. I want her to be on screen. I want her to stay active. I just feel like first title defense against the same woman, like, just right. Feels kind of like a little lazy, but not mad about it. Just feel like they could have gone in a more productive direction. What did you think of the segment overall? And what do you think about what we got set up coming out for Chelsea's first defense here?
First of all, I knew Piper, like, when she was in the ring, and by she I mean Chelsea was in the ring, and kind of like, I have to give props to one woman and one woman only. I'm like, oh, you're gonna diss your homie like that, bro? Like, you're really gonna go there? And I was waiting for it, and for a second, I kind of like suspended disbelief, and I said, oh no, she's probably gonna like actually put her over. No. That was so like on point and on brand for who she is, that no matter who's around her, it's always going to be about Chelsea Green. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Piper is a talent that needs to be beating people up more often. Piper is a professional wrestler who I think should be dominating the women's division in one way or another. Okay, I think that this has been a great pairing, but I believe that for this next year coming up, it should really be the year of the Piper. I think she just needs to go crazy ham on everyone and just like show off. Like, listen, I was here for you for that long. Like, kind of just snap on Green. You know what I'm saying? And like you mentioned, man, she looked hot in the ring today. I was like, okay,
she looked amazing. Yeah,
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I was from Raw, I'd whistle at you, be like, hey.
Well, don't do that.
Not whistle like that.
Performers.
Just be like, hi, can you say hi to me?
Hi. I'm here. I would love to see her squash some people. And then you want to talk about I want to see with other women that I know you're a huge fan of, her and Alba Fire, man. Like, if Alba Fire was the first, like you want to talk about doing a trilogy, set me up with that. Have them two go at it. Because I think, you know, when you're just like, I just know those people would tear it down. That's where I'm at with that. I'm like, I just know Alba Fire would tear it down with Piper. So I would love to see that. But some more love coming in from you guys. Drinking at Moe's, who's hitting YouTube milestones like crazy these days. Hope you both had a Merry Christmas. I know I sure did, with my son being born on Christmas Eve.
Yes,
oh my gosh!
It
congratulations,
is a Christmas Eve baby.
That is incredible. Congratulations to you and the family.
Also, I know his personal story with certain things that have happened, which I'm not going to put out there unless he was okay with it and he actually said it. But huge, like I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I love you, bro, and congrats to you and your wife, man. That I know we had one-on-ones, and this is great.
Worked hard for that family. That family. But Ricardo saying, did you find that Jaina and that Sasha that she found? I really want to know. Ricardo. There you go. There you go. Guys,
you got to set up pipes on you, girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Not to brag, but I was like, of course, soloist or whatever.
Yo, don't forget about the big sexy. Let's go.
Look, I wasn't power bombing people like you, okay? My God.
I too was in choir. I was, all state. So I just want to say, I'm saying.
Were you really?
Yes,
ma'am. So for real?
Oh yeah, I will post pictures of me doing competitions as a singer. I was a bass, and I did musical theater and drama. So I did a lot of theater and dancing and singing. So. But this show's not about me. It's about the great performers of World Wrestling Entertainment.
But like, I also, in the same month, learned that you were big, sexy Alex Cardoza and that you backyard wrestle. And now I'm learning that there's a theatrical side. My God. You know what?
I got the proof. I got the proof.
I'm sure you could charge a whole lot for those performances. But I bet if I was like, it's too expensive for me to buy a ticket to that, it would be maybe a little cheaper internationally. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at tomorrow's World's End pay-per-view and was like, if I didn't get to reimburse this back for work, it's been a steep year. We all just paid for our holiday presents and we're all lining up for the new year, doing everything I can to save a little money. Well, darn it. NordVPN is going to save you on pay-per-views and on tickets to Alex Cardozo's musical performances.
Buying pay-per-views on NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to enhance your pay-per-view buying process. Now, one subscription to NordVPN has so many different benefits, but if you're a big pay-per-view buyer like myself, UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff, any combination of the three, if they're doing a fight circus or something like that, this subscription will pay for itself after 1 or 2 pay-per-view buys. Change your virtual location, pay for it at the prices that other people are paying for it in the UK, in Australia, etc., and you can get different interfaces. Maybe you don't like Peacock and you want to check out the WWE Network the way that it used to be, the way that it was designed to be, the easy navigation, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to watch AEW without commercials. Maybe there's some other overseas services that you can't subscribe to and you want access to them. NordVPN.com/Fightful gives you that with a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, 24/7 tech support, so if you have trouble navigating any of it, they can help you out. Fastest VPN on the planet, NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Pretty deadly, call me.
Hey, oh my gosh, you could be in their musical. We're going to talk about them in a moment, but guys, get in your super chats, leave a thumbs up on this video. We are working our way through this Smackdown episode, and we're actually going to take it back to the beginning of this episode in a 6-woman match that I thought was outkicked the coverage of what I was expecting, and I had some expectations for it because all the women involved are incredible professional wrestlers, but we get Naomi, Bianca, and Bayley versus Nia, Tiffany, and Candice. And what I love was we have Naomi hitting Candice with the Bubba Bomb into the Gato clutch. Love that combination. Like, please let Naomi use combinations like that more than like the rear end. And that's it. Like, I like this version of Naomi. She and Bianca also looked great in their coordinated gear. I absolutely loved it. But what I love was the amount of in-ring storytelling that we got here of Nia doing everything she could to keep Tiffany out of the match. And I liked commentary also saying like, man, Nia's talking a lot of crap about the other side of this, considering how out of order her own house is right now. Like how off everybody seemed and not on the same page people seem to be on her side of things. So I love that we got this in-ring story unfolding of Nia trying to keep Tiffany out of the match. I'm a little tired of the cash in blue balls, but it's also to be expected at this point.
Ma'am.
This was the most blatant of them, though, which I liked. Like, there's been an evolution there where Tiffany goes to cash in.
Yes.
Nia is down. Nobody else is around except Candice LeRae stops her. And I love Tiffany Stratton in this, who had great chemistry with Naomi, especially in this. Those two really showed out. But I love that she's looking around and she just goes, I want to be champion. Like, she's got the tag champions are on the other side of this. Nia's right there as a champion. She didn't win the US title. That obviously went to Chelsea. And she's like, enough's enough. I want to be a damn champion. And I like that she kind of had this moment and this pause, and you start to put the pieces together of she didn't win the US women's title. Naomi got to fill the absence of Bianca because she's on the other side of things from Nia, right? So I like that Tiffany just reminds us of what the cash-in is for. It's not just about navigating relationships. She just wants to be a damn champ. And I thought that was really, really well done. So really good in-ring storytelling. And I thought Naomi and Tiffany, man, Alex, I thought the two of them had some of the best chemistry in the match. And it's a match with a lot of really good professional wrestlers.
Yeah, it looked a little bit in the beginning when they were it looked like they were kind of holding back a little bit as they were starting off the match, and then they just like kind of got familiar with each other in the ring. Not to say that they don't, they haven't fought before. I'm just saying like every match you start
They
off
felt each other out a little bit.
It's a dance, like a little tango. You kind of see who's going to take the lead here. But eventually it got to that point, right? And the women just went off. I've been saying this for 3 years on here. I effing love women's wrestling. I do. I'm sorry.
It's the best.
If you don't like it, get out of here, because that's what I enjoy. And Smackdown has been the it show for a lot of great women's matches. And that's not just because we speak Smackdown here. You can put me on Raw and I'll tell you if I see something good on Raw, but I really don't. You know what I'm saying?
No, unfortunately, it's thin over there. Yeah, this live title reign has not been very productive.
No.
Even today, like we're talking just the talent rotation alone, Bianca, Naomi, Bayley, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, Piper Meechin, and Chelsea Green were all on my television. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. So
100%.
As this show moves to 3 hours, you hope that continues. There's some NXT gals that are due for call-ups. And FightfulSelect.com did let us know that Jordynne Grace's contract is winding up sooner than later and that she would be available by Royal Rumble. I think she's someone you hotshot to the main roster. If I'm WWE, she does not need an NXT stint. Put her on the main roster. Probably throw her on SmackDown, I would say. Probably throw her on SmackDown. Guys, we're working our way through this. Get to your super chats. Get in your humper chats. We've got World's End tomorrow, and we've got some betting odds for you at BetOnline AG. I'm going to have Sean tell you about it. Not a lot. I don't think we have any underdog lock picks this time around. Will Ospreay and Okada is kind of favored for the finals there, which makes sense to me. If you want to throw a couple bucks at something, Mercedes is extremely heavily favorited. I say she's probably going to win, but that's one of those ones that's like, if you throw in $15 at that, you could make 90 or whatever. Like that's how skewed the odds are there. MJF is favored over Adam Cole a little bit. So head on over to our friends on BetOnline AG. Yes, you can bet on wrestling. Go make yourself some money. But we're going to have Sean Ross Sapp tell you more about it right here.
I want to talk to you guys about our great partner at BetOnline AG. Yes, the place that lets you bet on pro wrestling. We've gotten our pro wrestling betting odds from them for years, well before we even worked with them. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about them. They got the earliest lines, the fastest payout, the industry best bonuses. They've been trusted for 25 plus years because of their safe and secure environment and their quick payouts. But you can bet on pro wrestling. How cool is that? If you think you know more than anybody, go ahead and look at those odds. It's the same ones you've seen on Fightful for years. You might see one that sticks out to you and you go, wait a second. There's no way that person's going to win. Why are they an underdog? Make yourself some money. BetOnline AG. And hey, it doesn't stop there. Whatever sports you want, they got you covered. Popular games like blackjack and roulette, Supernova, Skyward, all that stuff. BetOnline AG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can at BetOnline AG.
BetOnline AG. Please hit them up on social media. Let them know that you want more betting odds from us as we go into 2025. We're still talking to them about continuing our partnership. Let them know you found out about them through us. Let them know you found out you can bet on wrestling through us, please. I'd support all of our great sponsors. We talked about NordVPN earlier today. They are the Presents sponsor for the Fightful Award. They've not only stuck with us, but they've expanded their partnership with us, and we are so thankful for their continued support of everything we're doing here at Fightful. But let's keep this going. We've got a little bit more to talk about, so keep those super chats coming. I don't know about this. I don't know how I feel about Braun Strowman versus Austin and Grayson and him winning with the running power slam. And here's the thing. I like that he's being presented as a real deal monster. If you're going to have him beat Bronson Reed in that monster match, like you better continue that with him, especially coming back from injury. You want him to stay hot. I like the idea of him beating tag teams. I don't know. Like, if we're talking stars of the future, I think Grayson Waller should be on that list. I really, really do. I watched him in NXT. I watched him against Legends when he first came up. His talking game is very, very strong. And this sounds so dramatic, and I really don't mean to be harsh about Austin Theory, but this tag team relationship, not Austin Theory, the performer, but the way this tag team has been stuck in the mud is an albatross around this guy. Like it's really, it's holding them both back. I just personally, from what I've seen, feel like Grayson Waller has a higher ceiling. So I just don't know what there's left for them to do as a tag team, except like host talk show segments, which was initially just Grayson Waller's thing, and then lose in embarrassing ways like this. Like, I really feel like the ceiling for Grayson Waller is much, much higher. When we talk about stars of the future, it can't just be Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. You know what I mean? Like, we got to start moving these other guys along too. And I just keep waiting for them to get Grayson Waller on track. Almost the same as I am with Austin Theory. I just think he needs to be repackaged. I actually think Grayson Waller is pretty dialed in. They just need to support him with some wins and some booking and let him go solo. I feel that way about Max Caster and Bowens and AEW. Like, sometimes stuff is just run its course, man. Pick up on the vibe. So I would love for Grayson Waller to be able to have more productive outings than this, because I think he has a higher ceiling than what he's been given on the main roster for sure. I get what they're doing with Braun. I like this idea. I just feel like it should be against like level up tag teams or local talent or things like that. So him doing this to former tag team champions, I don't think makes Braun look better. I think it makes them look weaker. And that's not what I feel like they're going for out of any of this. That being said, Braun Strowman looks like he's in great shape. And him just being a dominant Wreck-It Ralph guy again is the best that Braun Strowman does. Like, the one time he really caught fire was something similar where he was just wrecking dudes, faces, heels, whatever. That's the most fun that he can be. So I do appreciate that. We're going to talk about the involvement later in the night shortly, but what did you think of just this part?
I've said it time and time again about Waller and Austin Theory. I'm like, separate these two. Like, just you're doing a disservice, and maybe in the upcoming year we see that happen. But you have Braun Strowman. Yes, respectfully so. He is a monster of a man.
Among men, even.
Among men. I'm sorry. Among men of a man, even too.
It's true.
Yes. Yes, he should be going through 2 or 3 people at a time.
Sure.
If you put Austin and Waller on top of each other, they probably just maybe cover Strowman's height, right? So, but with that also being said, unfortunately, it happened to these two yet again.
Yeah.
Such a huge start and stop for these two. And it's just not gone anywhere. And I don't want to see a talk show. I want to see Waller fight.
Yeah, and I feel like my own expectations get in the way, because when they reintroduced and separated the tag titles, I was like, new titles, new era. When Motor City Machine Gun showed up, I was like, new titles, new era. And they've made some progress, but I feel like they're taking tag team wrestling super seriously. Though we did see at least some movement tonight in the right direction with what we get later, which is Nick Aldis, who again expects wrestlers to be grown-ups. Huge mistake on his part. But he's in the back with DIY and the Street Profits. And the Street Profits kind of have their edge back here, and they want to know who took them out. It's obviously DIY, but Pretty Deadly gets consulted because they were the eyewitnesses, and they are quite intimidated by Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. And they say, hey, we should get some financial compensation. There should be some sort of reward. And Nick Aldis says the reward is you get to keep your jobs, because if you knowingly withhold information about an assault on your coworkers, we're going to fire you. So I like that. But they basically go to say it's these guys, but they changed that into Garza, which I thought was cute. They say it's Los Lotharios. That gets settled with, this is going to shock you, but a backstage attack. And that backstage attack, Nick Aldis says, get it into the ring. I'm sick of backstage attacks, to which I say I am also sick of backstage attacks. But what we were kind of talking about with Waller and Austin Theory, Luis kind of says, heck, that also applies to both of Los Garza here too. And they're ones that I like them as a duo, but they just never seem to get them into the next gear. That seems to be a problem with a lot of Hispanic talent of late. Like LWO feels like it's waffling. I don't know where Santos Escobar is. We had some really cool stuff cooking there for a little bit. And we do have Andrade, who we're going to talk about in a second, who's been absolutely killing it. But like Santos Escobar not being on TV is that's a federal offense. Somebody should be behind bars for not putting that guy on television. He's so good and he's so cool. But we do have this Doomsday Blockbuster ending this. Kind of interesting that Angelo Dawkins was the hot tag in this. It felt like normally that goes to Montez Ford because he's so athletic and does such impressive stuff. But there were a couple times in here where people were like rooting on Angelo Dawkins to get in this, which was fun. And then later, Apollo Crews says, actually, it was DIY who attacked you. And it's kind of sad that Apollo Crews had to be like, are you guys maybe dumb? Like, why didn't you see that one coming? But that's kind of our tag movement. So we're at least having matches likely building toward contendership. And I like that DIY is champs again and that they're hopefully going to have a bit more real of a run. But I don't know. It just feels like we're still a little lackluster, but hopefully as we're heading into WrestleMania and Royal Rumble season, we'll get this a little bit more on track. Certainly better than what was happening with the Raw tag team title pictures before the Viking Raiders won them, because there was one defense over the course of like 5 months. But how did you feel about everything that we got tag wise on SmackDown today with the pretty deadly linchpin there, the match that we got in the post match with Apollo Crews?
You know, it's interesting that a lot of these backstage segments are kind of just using these tag teams that we really enjoy watching in the ring as just fodder, just stand-ins in the back to just kind of interweave this story that they're telling, right? Of what's happening, who's getting attacked, so on and so on. And it really, really blows my mind that the Latino talent, once again, is just not being presented. We had such a great span there. If you guys have been watching us through the summer, we were so high on whatever that we're going to do with Santos and everything that was happening. And it just got just whatevered.
It felt like we were going to have this passing of the baton moment between Rey Mysterio and Santos, and it just never happened, which was very odd.
And then, you know, the storylines that they're telling with the tag titles are kind of staying within the same 3 teams, kind of just like there's this small circle of people that are just involved, right? And I would have loved to see way more involvement from other tag teams, just beating the crap out of each other, just being part of this great division.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
And I'm not trying to be like just hone on one. But I've said this before, they're my only representation on television. I don't have any singles. Even Andrade, like Andrade comes in and out. Like, what was Andrade used for? Awesome entrance, and then he got put in with 2 people he fought, LA Knight and Carmelo, right? So,
well, he is coming after Shinsuke, so he does seem to be very fixated specifically on the U.S. title. So that is good. Like, but to your point, it felt like Andrade versus Carmelo Best of 7 was going to be such a big deal, and then they just had that not pay off at all because LA Knight was just like, nah. So I'm with you. It feels like whenever we get momentum going, it kind of backtracks here. But I also don't love that it feels like we heat up people of different nationalities based on where we're going. Seems like it's getting a little old. Like I'm all for the hometown hero thing, but like it's getting a little much.
Think of that. I didn't. You know what? You are correct.
Piper's from Scotland. She has a match. Like we need to have more consistency with that. I think would be good.
Wow. Yeah. Shoot.
Like the Puerto Rico shows. That was when we were heated up, right? Like
Let me tell you something. That show, and I continue to say it, was one of my biggest highlights.
Sure.
Till today, watch that Bad Bunny entrance. And we
I miss
love to we love to woe in the ring, and we love all the other things that we do that we do in
We
other,
love to woe. We too love to woe.
yeah, AEW has, they sing over there and do, everything, whatever they do.
Shots.
But there was something about that specific intro that day. Not even the Clash of the Castles did anything. Like that specific intro, man, was insane.
It was so organic.
I've never felt an energy like that in a pro wrestling ring in a while. So again, you said that. Where did we take that? Nowhere. And I feel like even with Damian Priest, he's like spinning his wheels. He's another one. He represents the Puerto Rican heritage very proudly, by the way. He wears it on all his gear. He does a lot of outreach, but he's another one in the ring and in the storylines. He's just spinning his wheels. It's just cool. Now he's separated, but he's doing that. But yeah.
Okay, what if he faced Judgment Day though? What if he did that? Because that hasn't been going on forever.
That is something I have not heard of or seen. Just like today, via a gosh darn commercial, Kate, I found out that Raw's moving to Netflix. I was about to turn on USA Network on January 6th, and I would have been watching a rerun of Chicago PD, and I would have lost my marbles because I wouldn't know where to go.
Had no idea.
But now
would have had no idea. I think the
now I know.
That is the equivalent of the Jericho Vortex is the Judgment Day Vortex over on the Raw side. But hey, we're coming down the home stretch. We were about to talk about Sammy and Carmelo, but who would we be without bringing on our favorite Grinch in the whole wide world? Merry post-Christmas, Alex Falowski. R.I.P. Rampage.
Yep. All right,
the last Rampage. One ever. How was your watch along? How did that go before we talk any SmackDown?
It was fine. I expect there to be like a more of a retrospective on like this is the last Rampage. Here's like maybe a top 5 moments in Rampage history, kind of a little video package or something.
December rain, perhaps
perhaps December rain, almost January rain, but no. But the cool thing was that Mox in canon ended Rampage. He invaded the truck and told everybody to cut the power, cut the feed. I'm ending this right now. This is done. That was great. So actually, that's not bad. Wow. They actually got an in canon reason for Rampage to be gone, which was fun. But yeah,
Valley. Saying he finally took over the Superstation, which when you're have a reading disability kind of looks like superstition, and I was like, he finally took over the Superstition. Stevie Wonder in the mud. Damn, okay.
You are a bruja, so it's starting to work for you.
They Pillmanized Darby's neck and sent him down a flight of steps, so that made me smile. So
of course,
that was fun. I was giddy. It was awesome. But everything else, it was fine. It was fine. I will miss an hour of Rampage, from 9 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central, because starting next week, that 9 to 10 slot is just going to be the rest of SmackDown. Which, considering they can't seem to figure out how to fill 2 hours. I don't know how the third hour is going to go. Hey, do you think that the only people who didn't know that DIY were the ones that attacked them are the Street Profits? Like, I don't know.
Apollo Crews having to remind them was pretty I was just saying I
thought that they knew when the Pretty Deadly told them it was the Garzas. They were like, okay, we'll go beat them up just because we're pissed. But then we're going to come back later and be like, we already saw DIY and the Yes Boys talking to each other. I thought we were going to have them walk up and be like, I know you guys lied. We know it was you. You saw what we did to them, and they didn't even do anything to us. So next week, we're taking you out for lying, and then 2 weeks, we're coming for those titles. Like, to me, that makes sense. It also makes the Street Profits not dummies who need to be told by Apollo Crews the Garzas had nothing to do with any of this because it doesn't make sense that they would have. So that's great. Also, did anybody ask Jade Cargill who attacked her? Because I feel like, is she in a coma? It's been like over a month since she was attacked. The way she was attacked, I don't think it's possible for her not to have seen who attacked her. Word. If we just asked her, would she tell us? And then we could just get over this whole thing of who was the person to attack. Are we going to do that until the Rumble?
I just don't know what her timeline is, but Ricardo's saying, I'll hail the sourest king. That is one of those things that I know you physically don't have this in you, but that is one of the most, you have to do that with wrestling. Like if you actually were able to ask people who attacked them, like the amount of wrestling angles that would just fall apart.
Yeah, it would just,
there's a lot of people who canonically were hit from behind. If you look at the way she fell onto the windshield of the car, she had to have been pushed while looking at the person who pushed her. There are other ways of doing it. If she had been laying on her stomach on the windshield of the car, I'd have nothing to say about it. But she had to have seen who it was. And that's
Wrestling Forensics 101 with Alex. You know what? I just want to add I want to add this to Alex's point. It's like, it wouldn't be entertainment if you just kind of just went around the back end and just was like, oh yeah, it was pretty deadly, just told them exactly who it was, right? Yeah. So like there wouldn't be no entertainment, like there would be nothing. Same thing with like Jade. It's been a month and nobody, and every time that Bianca and Naomi are out, every single time they're getting their hands raised, I kind of just look at their eyes to see if maybe they're gonna give a clue or whatever, that they have to look towards the stage, because I'm waiting for Jay to make her grand entrance, even with a caster on her neck or something, like, the bitch is back and I'm ready to beat the crap out of someone, but nothing, just sitting here. Who hit you? This is worse than the whole Triple H and Rikishi incident in way back when.
I think they actually did a decent enough job of pivoting from Bayley to Naomi. Like, it felt like, oh, for sure it's Bayley. And then it was like, well, hold on. And now I feel like it's just gone on too long. But I still want it to be Charlotte Flair really bad. Like, I really want it to be Charlotte. But I feel like Charlotte's going to come back to Raw. So, but I feel like that would bring Charlotte back as a heel in a title adjacent program. That would make me happy. But Alex, the only thing that we hadn't gotten to so far was Sammy, who was talking backstage to Nick Aldis and gets interrupted by Carmelo Hayes. And he does not like that he was interrupted by Carmelo Hayes, because Sami Zayn is apparently an old man and a square. And people get interrupted all the time backstage, but Carmelo Hayes needs to be taught a lesson. So before he deals with the bloodline, he's going to wrestle Carmelo Hayes. And honestly, I really liked the match, but I knew we were going to get in the interference ending. One thing WWE's gotten much better about is interweaving stories, but sometimes they just go overboard with the interweaving. And tonight felt like we went overboard with the interweaving. We get a DQ ending, which they've been doing better with clean finishes, so kudos to that. But you have the Bloodline attacking Sammy, and you have Braun running off Carmelo. And I'm like, this was just not between the two guys who were in the match at all. So that just feels like overkill for me when it's like both guys that were in a match. It becomes not about the two of them at all. That's not my favorite way of doing things, but that was the last thing we had to talk about. If you had anything else that you wanted to throw in there.
So Carmelo beat Braun Strowman by countout last week. At least he was clever about how he achieved the countout victory. But then after backstage, he attacked Braun Strowman with a chair or something. to like celebrate making him a dummy. You know what I mean? Like I tricked you into getting counted out. Therefore, I won. I won. I'm smarter than you. Bye-bye. You don't need to continue it by attacking him with a chair. That didn't make a lot of sense. But then this week, he seemed to be entirely not concerned with Braun Strowman until Braun Strowman came out during his match. He was willingly taking a count-out loss on purpose. He was in the middle of getting counted out on purpose when Braun Strowman came out. He couldn't handle Sami Zayn. What are we doing with Carmelo Hayes? Where he got squashed by Braun, then he was able to outsmart him at least, and now he can't handle having a match with Sami Zayn, so he willingly gets counted out, and then he gets run off by Braun Strowman. So that's half of it. The other half is the Bloodline shows up and attacks Sami Zayn, and who comes out to save the day but Braun Strowman, who has nothing to do with any of these people, except for Michael Cole is telling me Braun Strowman has quite the history with the Bloodline. When? When has he even met any of these people? Yeah, he's been on Raw the entire time the new Bloodline has been
existed. Yeah.
He has a history with Roman Reigns from 2017. But that doesn't mean he has a history with the Bloodline. Even so, he has a history with the other Bloodline, who this Bloodline hates. They only brought him in so he could have a stare down with Jacob Fatu. Listen, if they're going to do a singles match, Jacob Fatu beating the crap out of Braun Strowman, sign me up for it. That's great. But that's all this Braun Strowman is good for right now. Yeah. Is being built up by making Carmelo Hayes look like a dork so that when he's already fully built up, Jacob Fatu can lay him low, and then Jacob Fatu will look good by comparison. But all of this didn't make a whole lot of sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, it was a little too much not about the match. And I liked where the match was going. I liked the story that was being told between Carmelo and Sami before that. So kind of a shame there. Before we get Cardoza's thoughts, last call for super chats and humper chats. Jared saying, just posting an eulogy for NXT Level Up that had its last episode tonight. Good place to see newbies grow in their craft with no pressure. RIP. So yeah, 2 programs getting their end of year send off here. We did not really know Level Up all that well, so we'll see. I assume that'll just be those people will get reps not on TV. Well, in all likelihood is my guess. But Cardoza, how did you feel about Carmelo and Sami? I feel like we're in this weird rut of cutting Carmelo's legs out from under him.
He's just he hasn't really shown anything since those matches with Andrade. Outside of that, his character is just like a little weasel running around backstage, pissing people off so that he can get a reaction out of them. Then you bring him into the ring and he's trying to find ways to kind of like win a match, maybe, or get destroyed. You know, now you're getting punked by Sami Zayn backstage. Like, what are we doing? You know, how are we? Yeah, go ahead, Carmelo.
No, I was just going to say, he kind of feels like he reads more to me of the heel that is like more like Swerve, where it's like that guy is cocky, but he can back it up and he's really cool. Like when Swerve is like in his heel bag and not like breaking into people's houses or whatever, that like the reason this guy is a heel is because he knows how good he is and he backs it up. And there's something really cool about it, but we don't love that he's always going against our favorites and getting the best of them.
Sure.
Like this version of him isn't so far off that I think it's like unsalvageable or anything, but like he's a little more there. I don't feel like he should have to compensate as much as he is, if that makes sense. Like he's too good to be like being so sneaky all the time, But
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, for me, Carmelo, unfortunately, right now, seems to be boxed in. You know, the old term, VM used to call it that, and that's what he was like. Wrestlers that wrestled under VM, you would say, hey, I'm boxed in. This is what I am now. I'm a mid dude. You know, like I enhance some stories, maybe get beat up, maybe get over once, over someone. And I don't want to see that happen for him. And I don't want a couple years to go by before we see something like pop off for him either, in a big way. But the problem right now is that WWE has their main titles and their main storylines are completely wrapped up within each other right now, with what they're doing. But again, outside of SmackDown, nothing makes sense because SmackDown pretty much has the best storylines right now going. So Carmelo's just stuck, unfortunately, unless he gets into that portal.
He could. We could see that. But hey, you know what you can see is me and Alex Pulowski on Fightful Select tomorrow reviewing World End. So you can check us out there. One final super chat to kind of close us out. Meet Norma saying, thank y'all. Even the vegan, for another stupendous year of sour content. Make Abigail be with us all in the new year and more women's wrestling, please. Yes. Hopefully other people in that mid-card title can break in other than Michin. Hopefully that's a productive reign for Chelsea Green. But guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for your support all year. We will see you for the World's End pay-per-view. But this particular show, we'll see you next year. We'll see you on the other side of 2025. Fellas, if you want to plug your stuff, feel free to do so.
I'll let the Pulowski go first. He's the man.
And you plugged the thing that we're doing tomorrow. That's the thing. And then we're doing the Raw review on. I don't even know what I'm going to be figuring out how to do next Friday with the 3-hour SmackDown.
I was going to ask off air,
am I going to do a watch along of the 3rd hour of SmackDown? So we have the same basic format. I can't imagine doing a watch along of a 3rd hour of SmackDown. That would be
God.
Yeah, we'll figure something new out. But Cardoza, you had that was pretty jolly. You have so much going on. Closing out the year.
Stars and clover leaves. Yeah. I mean, it just ended. Did my first season of That Was Pretty Jolly. It was extremely successful. We got so many crazy new episodes of Wrestling with Freddie still left. If you guys want to go check that out. We took the holidays these last 2 weeks, to spend with family, obviously. So we'll be producing brand new episodes starting next week. No, not next week, because next week is January 1st. The following week, we'll be coming right back with all new episodes. But listen, overall, man, thank you guys seriously from the bottom of my heart for another year here at Fightful. You guys, the community that we have built here, the insane fun stuff that we have with Alex when Alex comes in, and just Kate's bangs and my clavicles getting oiled up every Friday night for you guys. It's just cool. You can find everything I do. And again, thank you for supporting all of my projects. You guys are lifesavers. Just head over to alexiscardoza.com. Cheap plug for my own name. I branded my own name. I created my own URL and it works. And there's where you can find all my links for my threads, my blue skies, and my only clavicles. So yeah, thank you again. I wish everyone a super happy, healthy new year. Especially you two right here. You guys have held me up here when I feel like crap.
Much appreciation and a shared sentiment for sure. A couple more chats to close us out here. Ricardo saying, love to my SGS and Fightful people. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. We also had one final chat that said, extra love to Kate for her solo final battle review and to mirror Alex for WWE screwing him and putting his witches on every show but SmackDown. It was okay in ring tonight, but could we make the wrestlers any more dumb? I know it's a tough one. Thank you. The support for that final battle review was unexpected. I appreciate it very much, but we're going to get out of here. We will see you on the other side of next year for this show. Stay tuned with us for World's End tomorrow. We've got plenty to come. So thank you so much. Have a safe and wonderful wrestling weekend. Bye.
Oh, no.